Kieran Jenkins reporting. Well, this isn't the first time that Israel has mounted a ground invasion of Gaza. Troops also entered the territory in 2014. One of the soldiers then who was sent back was Benzi Sanders. He says that he started out believing in the cause of a greater Israel and the military operation, but the reality of war eventually changed that. I met him earlier today and asked him to describe why he changed his mind.
I served in the West Bank and in the Special Forces unit that I was in for 8 months. And I really thought that this thriving Jewish society in the land of Israel was something that I needed to be part of. And I knew that all of that was only possible because Israel had a strong military that had defended it time and time again. That started changing when I was actually sent into the West Bank to protect settlements. And I began to understand that they were slowly expanding, taking over Palestinian land.
And did you approve at the time of the expansion or not?
I think before I went in, I approved of it. When I saw what it actually meant, and I saw that we were just imposing a military regime over Palestinian civilians, I began to question it.
You've written very movingly about your experience and your conversion, if you like, after you were in Gaza as an IDF soldier. Just tell us about what it was like to do house-to-house combat in Gaza.
When I was sent in, we were told we have to provide this perimeter for the engineer corps to demolish attack tunnels that had gone into Israel. And we were told that all the civilians had fled. It wasn't true. There was a family that we found in the second neighborhood we went into, in the Al-Bura neighborhood of Beit Hanun. Even though we were going into every house with live fire, they managed to understand that this was an innocent family and they didn't harm them. They gave them food and gave them water, and they guarded them for many days. But I found out this actually later. When we pulled out, the Air Force just flew over that neighborhood and bombarded it, and they were killed.
That family?
That family, yeah.
All along you were told by your commanders that this was to eliminate the Hamas threat. And how did that work out?
Not only did we not eliminate the threat, but actually Hamas got stronger in many ways because of our efforts. What I learned was that my government facilitated the transfer of hundreds of millions of dollars, which went to Hamas from Qatar. And also, at the same time, we tried to defund and delegitimize the Palestinian factions and Palestinian organizations that recognize international law, that renounce violence.
And recognize the state of Israel,
and recognize the state of Israel and are willing to negotiate with the state of
Israel.
Israel.
So why were they doing that, do you think?
What has been written and what has been stated openly by even senior members of this current government, including Netanyahu, is that they considered Hamas to be an asset. And because their ultimate goal was not to defeat Hamas, their ultimate goal was to prevent the creation of a Palestinian state. And it was actually convenient and useful to have the Palestinian leadership split. And
you also wrote very starkly that a land invasion of Gaza will fail. Why did you say that?
For the exact reasons that we're describing right now. I believe that the Israeli government has the responsibility to defend Israeli citizens and not to allow the horrific atrocities and the kidnappings that took place on October 7th to happen. But the only way to do that is by providing an alternative. And I'm not saying that there's no circumstances when a military operation isn't necessary, but it can't be with a government who has no plan for a future vision where a political solution.
I hear what you're saying, but I wonder whether more and more Israelis who might have agreed with you in the past care less about the ultimate plan because of the nature of the atrocity committed against Israel on October the 7th. And what they're really just hell-bent on, you could say understandably, is retribution.
I think in many ways a lot of the fundamental assumptions that people had, that they bought the lie, that Netanyahu and his partners sold the public, that we can just manage the conflict and keep it on a low burn, because I don't think they approach the Palestinian civilians as the future partners that we need to make peace with.
Benzi Sanders, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.